Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast for the final stage of the Tour de France, brought to you by Join Cycling from Monaco to Nice, a 33.7 kilometer TT, stage 21. The first time, I'm not sure if when the last time was, they didn't do the Champs-Élysées sprint, a real stage to finish, and a very, very hard TT that the organisers probably had hoped could change the GC like the 2020 Planche de Belfi TT. I started my holidays a little bit early, so I'm I don't know what happened before, like the big guns rolled off, Benji. To be honest, it's if you're watching the sprinters do the TT, seek help. I think maybe there'll be a hotel minibar room tour for YouTube listeners. But when did you start watching this, Benji?
I'll be honest, I did fairly similar to you. My day started with me trying to get out of bed, because I was very demotivated to do what I planned to do yesterday, which is climb Isola 2000 on my trainer today. And I did it. I did it in a very long time, but I managed to reach the top. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm completely torched. So I started watching the second that Matteo Jorgensen hit the deck with about, 10 GC riders to go. So I don't think I missed too much, to be honest, watching this, because it's always great seeing Benjamin in his green jersey rolling over the line, etc. But those riders kind of did that yesterday. I feel like Patrick is like trying to fix something right now. We're seeing a lot of chest hair on the screen right now. But, this is such an unhinged last podcast, man. So we've got Benjamin over crossing the line yesterday already on the mountain stage. So we've got those views already. So I'm not really gonna watch the early riders in a time trial. So it all started with the last 10 GC riders for me. And I was thinking, okay, what's going to happen in GC? Kind of. I didn't expect too much to change, because the closest riders were in GC, Carlos Rodriguez on 1 second of Adam Yates, but I didn't see that changing today. Then Almeida being 40 seconds ahead of Landa. Sorry, but that wasn't changing in my head.
He'd need to crash for that to change.
Fact. Although Landa CT was not horrible.
He did a good TT, yeah.
But next to that, I was also thinking, okay, what can Derek G and Jorgensen maybe do on a TT today? Those kind of riders. But reality is also, I kind of wasn't expecting that to change either. When it comes to 10th and 11th, Ciccone had to do a lot to change that. So I was expecting zero change in GC. So it was all about the stage win. And let's be honest about it, there's no one outside of the top 3 in GC that can win this time trial. So if you started watching this time trial with 3 riders to go, you miss nothing.
Have we done the profile?
No.
34 Ks, first 3 Ks. I gotta say, I don't care what Dan Bigham and your little engineer mates have to say about modeling. Road bike with clip-ons. Look at how technical the first 3 Ks are. So technical. What, you want to be on a road bike, surely? Like, we even saw a rider crash in those corners, and then you're climbing. Okay, I know these guys now climb at 30 k's an hour on 6%, but still, the TT bikes are heavier, and surely they can still go in the extensions. I don't know. But then you got the bike change at the top. There's the fast bit before Col d'Ez, but Col d'Ez is steep. I need to see the data, Benji, because I think road bike with clip-ons was the best option. Even though every smart team didn't do that.
One rider in the top 10 we saw do that. That was Ciccone. Or, well, actually, not in the top 10. He got 11th. But one rider in the top 11 we saw doing that. And he switched from his clip-on road bike to the TT bike at the top of Col d'Ez. We saw another change by Felix Gall from a road bike without clip-ons to a TT bike. I don't think that's the right option. Like, to be honest, sorry, but if your rider is 3 minutes 31 down at the top of Col d'Ez, mate, I'm not getting out of the car to give you a new bike. You can ride on.
Felix Gall, there ain't nothing he could have said to me. Not a single thing. You could have fired me. Felix, I'm not getting out of the car mid-TT. You're on, what's he on in GC?
13th before this, I think.
Come on, just ride it in, brother. Like, it's over. Climb better next time.
What if you said, I lost the wheel? Would you get out of the car?
No, run it. Your GC position can stay the same. I'm not getting out of the car. I'm not getting out, Felix. So, like, Maybe next time there's crosswinds, switch on. But anyway, we still didn't do the profile. They do a 20-minute climb. La Turbe is the first intermediate, 8.2 Ks, 5.7%. That's about 20 minutes that they would do that. And as Benji correctly said yesterday,
17 minutes,
17 and a half
before.
on the actual climb and the 2.5 Ks before, so 20 minutes. Then there's a little plateau, short false flat descent. Col des is steep. It's a mile. That's 1,600 meters, Benji, at 9%. That's the steepest climbing part of the course. And then another plateau, then a pedaling fast descent for the most part, actually. I really like pushing a big gear. Then there's T3, so I like the intermediate placements, really. Like, you really have a descent from T2 to T3 is the descent, and T2 to T3, I mean, is kind of Col des with a bit of a punch, and then obviously T3 to the finish is 5.5 Ks of flat and not very technical on the Promenade des Anglais in Nice. So,
but how much of that time trial of that descent is technical? How many cheeseburgers is technical?
I don't know what you're saying. I gotta say, cheeseburgers.
Drink less.
I've not had anything to drink. That's the thing. Everyone in the chat's saying, I'm just tired. I would be way more lucid if I had slept more and punched 5 beers. I'm just tired. I haven't had anything to drink. I will afterwards, but yeah, I'm just straight up exhausted. But that's a good segue into our show partner, Benji. Join Cycling, the #1 adaptive training platform. No, seriously, I was thinking about the read earlier because I was like, tour's finished. By the way, Jim, thanks for the challenge. 3 rides a week. I did 4 this week. So, of course, I did 4 this week. So, Jim
I missed the middle week.
Really? I did every week.
I did 6 rides in week 1 and 6 in week 3. I did 2 in week 2. So,
if you average it out, but actually, no, that's not true. Actually, Join prefers you to do. It's better to just do consistency and not do too much. I understand that. What do you have on your? What did Join tell you today? Got angry at you today?
Yeah, my Join Cycling app got angry at me today because they're telling me that I did a bit too much. So I got a passive-aggressive reaction by the Join Cycling app to get off my bike.
Well, no, it's saying Benji just did what you do, 2.5 hours full gas up Isla, which is a big effort.
Gas, but
oh, okay, which is a big.
That's a big effort for me because that's 8 hours a week. I'm not used to that.
Yeah, so it's saying don't keep doing that because it'll be too much for you, and then you'll burn out. And that's what I like about Join Cycling. And maybe you have a holiday planned in the summer or winter if you're in Australia. I certainly have a couple of holidays planned, and I just put in my availability into Join Cycling. I've trained, not the house down during the tour, but for sure I did all the rides that Jim said to just keep myself going. I'm really happy with how I went, but in particular this week. And then I just put that into Join Cycling. The plan adapts to how I've been going, and it's not like I don't have to start from scratch again. And also the plan or what I've done before isn't wasted, and Join's like, okay, he's done this. I put in my availability now for the week coming up. I've got 3 days off the bike, and then I'm back in Andorra home, and I can train properly with full availability the end of next week. So the adaptability is that's what I love about the Join Cycling app. When, maybe you want to take a holiday after, I don't know, whatever you're doing, working as hard as we do, talking about the Tour de France. So if you want to check it out, the 30-day free trial down below. I've never had better consistency on the bike throughout, even when I was at university, frankly, and I've never felt fresher every time I get on the bike because I'm not doing too much every time. I'm actually staying fresh. So it's worked for me. It's worked for LRCP users, like I said on the last podcast, and just that consistency is what's going to get us there because we're going to be in Australia before you know it, Benji. We're doing our Corkscrew and Willunga Hill TT. So Join will get us there. What?
I'll be getting PRs, personal bests, trying to ride away from spiders and snakes in your country.
You'll see kangaroos on Willunga. And on Corkscrew, you can see koalas.
I'm not scared of kangaroos.
Actually, you should be. They can really mess you up.
You don't need to say that.
I was just saying,
terrified of most of the animals in your country.
Saying Norton Summit in 2017 at dusk, kangaroo, bang, jumped literally just behind my back wheel, and most terrified I've ever been in my life. But anyway, thanks to Join Cycling for supporting the show and throughout our Tour de France. Big shout out to them. It's so fantastic to see all of you using their platform, and we'll see them in the recap tomorrow, and also some interesting stuff coming up before the Vuelta. this TT, Benji.
Yes.
GC guys start. We see, as we said, Ciccone in goal with some weird setups. Does it change anything? No. Jorgensen, he crashes. There was a tight right hand at the start of Lanterne, I think. He pedal strikes, crashes. Remember, he's the guy who's really got the only GC position under threat. He can't lose 26 seconds to Derek G, and we know Derek G is going to absolutely stomp this TT. What else do you have? Anything else before the really big guns set off?
Well, Jorgensen, I'm pretty sure he took 40 seconds back on G on the final descent. I don't have the
I got the
times
times
in
for
front
this
of
table,
me.
don't worry, Benji. Jorgensen, second on the descent by 3 seconds ahead of Joao Almeida, 20 seconds slower than Poggi, who was first. Yeah, Almeida smashed the descent. So I don't think the descent was that technical. I think it was a pedaling descent. Jorgensen's, maybe him and G are the heaviest GC guys in the top 10, let's say, I think, around that 70 mark. And so that absolute power, which also Pogacar has, must have really, really helped. And he full sent the descent because he's probably pretty pissed off that he crashed, I would say, Jorgensen. So, but in terms of pacing, T1. Pogacar first, 7 seconds ahead of Vingegaard and 26 seconds ahead of Evenepoel. So Vingegaard beats Evenepoel on the shallower climb on Lanterne by 19 seconds. T2, the TT's finished. The TT is finished at T2. Vingegaard extends his gap to 27 seconds over Remco, but we already saw the live tracker. Pogacar, absolutely, he takes another, can I count, 15 seconds on Vingegaard in about 17 seconds in 8 minutes. And that's the end of the Vingegaard terrain. So on the descent, Vingegaard is not going to take any time back on Pogacar. So that's the end of the TT. Remco's also nearly, a minute back? He's 50 seconds back, I think, 51 seconds back. No TT, no descent in the world is going to help you that much to the finish. And Pogacar also, to make matters worse for the other two, does the best time on the descent by far. The only man to go under 11 minutes, 10:48. The average speed on the descent, if I apply the filter, 65 k's an hour on the descent. Pogacar was over 2 kilometers an hour quicker than the second best on the descent, which was Jorgensen. So I think his partner said that he reconned this TT over and over and over and over again. And he also took risks. We saw Pogacar into a hairpin, nearly bucked a bike over braking. And he crushed this descent. He was first at T1, at T2, at T3. He was first at all the intermediates, between the intermediates. And as you can tell, ran out a big, big winner in the TT to win his 6th stage at this Tour de France. Could have been probably by 1:20. He eased up in the last 2Ks to enjoy it. Were you surprised? Should have gifted it to Vingegaard, Were you surprised to see him push so much in the descent?
Well, kind of, yeah. He's got time on top of Coldes. He's there 24 seconds ahead. He kind of just needs to keep that. And let's be honest about it. He's likely going to outride Vingegaard and Evenepoel in that descent in the first place. Because if it's a more rolling descent, then Pogacar has the upper hand. And on the technical part, he's better than Remco. But on the technical part, Vingegaard, you would say, could stay on level with Pogacar for super technical, but it's not that technical either, this ascent. So I was expecting everybody to lose time from those three from Pogacar, even if he doesn't take risks. And he took risks. So and he flies faster than you. But to say extra, he could have even gone faster in this time trial. Because this man showed up with the sponsorship nerf of no overshoes to show off the sponsor shoes, I'm guessing is the reason. And in addition to that, with the Richard Mille watch as well, that can't be the most aero either. Otherwise, every rider would be wearing a watch in a time trial. Maybe it's a new hype. Maybe every rider is now going to show up with a watch on a time trial. So he could have gone a few seconds faster.
Not those big junky things.
Yeah.
Definitely never reached Dubai holidays. Yeah. But they're a team sponsor. So I think he has to wear it. It's not like he has a choice. He has to wear it.
Yeah.
And Benji, Pogacar 9th from T3 to the finish. He was cruising. So he was slower than Yeah, he was slower than Santiago Buitrago to the finish. I'm not an expert in cycling, but I think he could have gone faster than Santiago Buitrago in the last 5 minutes if he wanted to. So Pogacar was cruising, just enjoying it to the finish, knowing he had over a minute lead. There's not really much to say, Benji, in terms of like, I'll do the full top 10, and we'll get into maybe a bit of something interesting in the intermediates rather. Pogacar 45 minutes 24, a bit slower than we expected. 44.5 kilometer an hour average, so 1k an hour quicker than Vingegaard, who's 103 back. He beats Evenepoel by 11 seconds. Remco clawed a lot back in the last flat section. Jorgensen fourth on 208, 10 seconds ahead of Almeida, and 23 seconds ahead of G, and then there's probably 10 seconds in the crash that Jorgensen had, but he defends his 8th. Landa, huge TT, 241, 10 seconds slower than G. Tejada railed the descent, 250. Buitrago, 9th, 253. Yates, 256. Lenny on 3 minutes, and I'm trying to look for the next GC guy. Carlos Rodriguez on 352. That's a bad TT, frankly. Like, he shouldn't be a minute slower than Santi, so I think
his
he's sick.
retreat wasn't great.
Yeah, it must be something wrong.
Someone's getting COVID is my theory.
I mean, yeah, like they kept people in the race who had COVID. Ciccone, 454 in 36th on a hilly TT. That's bad. And who else is a GC rider? That's it.
That's it. But we haven't spoken about the most important part of the entire Tour de France. During our Tour de France preview about 24 days ago, 25 days ago, we made a prediction. Who is going to be the Lanterne Rouge in this Tour de France? And one of us said Cavendish, one of us said Mercu. I actually don't remember who said who. But I'll claim that I had Cavendish. I just want to say that Cavendish is the Lanterne Rouge.
Is he? Yeah, but he was. They had all the stars out for Cavendish, celebrating him, which was good to see. But it was strange to see him doing a TT to finish the race. Also strange for Biniam Girmay. Like, he wins the green jersey. They sort of celebrated it yesterday. There's a lot of Eritrean fans in the crowd. Yep. But yeah, I'm just looking at some of these time splits. So Vingegaard faded to the finish, or was just indeed just too slow on the really flat sections. He was 6th, 13 seconds behind Evenepoel, who was 1st in that section. I'm trying to see who was 2nd. It's not telling me. Campenarts was 2nd, so it was very much like TT number 1. And Michael Matthews was 3rd, so Matthews just absolutely sent the final flat stretch. Almeida was actually the 2nd best of the GC riders. He was 4th. But yeah, Remco, I don't think this is a good course for Remco at all. There's barely any kilometers of flat, high-speed, non-technical Scud missile. This is not a good TT for him. And that scene where when it was flat, okay, Poggi wouldn't have lost 15 seconds, but it would have been level maybe. So yeah, tough TT for Remco. Any other time splits that jump out at you, Benji, while I pass through them?
Nah.
You're out on this TT.
Mate, I want to get out. I'm mostly looking forward to tomorrow's podcast. We're doing like a recap podcast. Not sure if it's up tomorrow or the day after. Of like, the question's like, what does this mean for the next couple of years? Where did Vingegaard lose the most time? Could they have done things differently? Probably not. Pogacar, Giro Tour.
If you do have an answer to that, if you have an answer to how Vingegaard could have won the Tour, please, you know my email is connected to the channel. Please tell my Instagram. If you have an answer, send it through.
What does this mean for Remco in the future? Will Joao Almeida win the Vuelta? All these questions. I can't wait to answer those.
On the descents, one thing I will pick out before, we move on to the final, if there was any GC changes, but Vingegaard and Evenepoel on the descent really weren't the best. 16th for Vingegaard and 13th for Remco. So that's about we're talking tiny gaps though here. Like, so. Yeah, but. 4th, Santi, let's say Santi railed the descent. He took 14 seconds on Vingegaard and 11 seconds on Remco. So it's not huge gaps, but it's still differences. And you're seeing, I don't know, there's some, like Ciccone did a really good descent. But Joao Almeida, as I already said, did a good one. Santi did. Tejada railed it. but these are small differences between them and Jorgensen. Pogacar's actually the one who like really took time on the descent. He took 40 seconds on Vingegaard on the descent. 40 seconds in just over 10 minutes. Like,
but
that's huge.
I think there's different reasons between the time loss of Vingegaard and Remco. As in, Remco is much closer to Pogacar's weight than he is to Vingegaard's weight. We're talking between the 62 to the 65 region for both riders.
Yeah.
And then we go towards Vingegaard. We're talking about under 58 kilos. We know that that's roughly where Vingegaard is based. So if we're comparing that, Vingegaard is his weight compared to the others is lower, so he's gonna have trouble pushing those absolute watts on that descent, on that rolling descent. While Remco, it feels more like he doesn't dare to take the same risks as the other riders, which I don't know. Like, it does.
You know, if I was Remco, if I hear the intermediates, if they tell me the intermediates over the radio in the car, I wouldn't have taken any risks. Why would you?
Yeah.
You're not going to win the stage.
Agree.
You're nowhere close to taking Jonas's second.
Yep.
Like, Poggy had 50 seconds on him, no? At T2?
Yep.
The only then thing you could do is lose third by crashing. So I also would have taken no risks.
Agree.
So maybe it's that. But yeah, Vingegaard, Vingegaard was pushing. He was pushing. So he loses 40 seconds on that descent. And he's lost 50 seconds on Galibier descent, 40 seconds on this descent, 27 seconds on the Puy-Marie descent, which wasn't then realized, but he's lost over 2 minutes or more on descents to Pogacar this Tour de France. So that's just something to bear in mind. That's also a difference, not just uphill. Final GC, no changes, if I'm not mistaken, Benji. Pogacar 6:17 over Vingegaard, so he beats him by more than he beat him in 2021. Remco on 9:18, 3-minute gap now between Vingegaard and Remco, and Almeida is on nearly 10 minutes to Remco. That is a huge gap from third to fourth. What was the gap from Yates? Yates only beat Simon Felipe Yates by a minute and a half, minute 40 last year, so big gap actually between the podium. But I won't spoil our pod tomorrow. Anything else, Benji?
Fight on the pod tomorrow, mate.
Don't you think?
Anything else?
Yeah, I got something on my mind.
Oh, okay.
Where was the star power today?
The what?
The star power.
What's the star power?
Wimbledon, right? Wimbledon's on. You've got everyone in the box watching. You've got, I don't know, famous people. I don't know who they are. You've got, all I recognize was Rohit Sharma. You won't know who he is, but there's Rohit Sharma.
Like the Hoktua girl showing up or something.
Okay, I said India's best hand one day right hand opener after Tendulkar or Sehwag, and you say the Hoktua. Wimbledon is not inviting the Hoktua girl to sit in the box with the monarch.
No, but she was in a boxing fight yesterday, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we watch different things, but yeah, exactly. Why did ASO not invite the Hoktua girl to be at the Monaco TT? Okay, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but like, it's the Monaco, F1, Monaco F1 gets all the stars. We need to be inviting some people. Maybe they were there. But that's, I think that, now maybe people say don't do that. That's phase 2 of the Netflixification of cycling. Is that happening? But I was just surprised. I thought we'd see David Beckham, Kimi Räikkönen,
Ben Stiller. He would have wanted it.
Ben Stiller, fly your man out to celebrate with G. Or Carlos Sainz. Maybe he was there, but didn't he just do a vlog with Pogacar? Like, he knows who Pogacar is. A lot of the F1 guys ride a bike. Maybe I missed it. I was just surprised. It's a Sunday. What do these guys got on?
F1.
I don't know if it was on today.
Carlos Sainz.
I literally have never watched a live F1.
Driver?
Who?
Carlos Sainz was a driver, right? I don't watch other sports. So.
He still is. He's like 25
then he's not here
old.
because he's driving in Hungary today.
Is there F1 today?
Yeah, there was F1 today. There was drama between. I saw some Twitter shit between Verstappen and his GP that called him childish. I don't know what a GP was, so I was thinking, okay, who is called GP? So it took me 3 hours to figure out that GP was the guy that's talking to him through the radio in the team. I don't know, man. We need beef between the team cars and the riders in cycling.
We've
Through
had
the team
beef.
radio on
We've
TV.
had beef this Tour de France. Quickstep's team car called Pogacar a show pony at the start of the Remco's TT.
Between the team car and their own rider, I want to say.
Oh, and their own rider. See, it doesn't work because it wouldn't work.
Yeah, of course it doesn't work. Visma and Ineos already said goodbye to the whole thing 2 days ago after something happened in stage 17, and nobody knows what happened.
I actually don't know. No, I think it's not about the leaking of stuff because UAE are the ones who've been stuffed. UAE.
Yeah.
On Tourmalet, it was like they showed the radio message saying their pacing plan. I was like, that's a bit much, no?
Yeah, but why directly? Because with Visma, it was after stage 18.
No, it's a commercial. It must be
stops.
it's a commercial thing, Benji. They're paying them nothing.
Yeah, but exactly after that stage, why not run it out for the rest of this Tour de France then? That makes no sense to me.
I don't know.
And the articles that I saw, I never clicked on the article because I honestly couldn't be fucked at this point. I'm at the end of my energy bar when it comes to this Tour de France. But it all said after an incident on stage 17.
17.
Well, I don't even remember what stage 17 was.
Super Dev Louis, Jonas got dropped, and then had Laporte ahead. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll talk more about. Put that down as a topic for tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for the all Tour de France encompassing recap. We're going to go through every stage. We'll go through the team radios, the winners, the losers, what teams did wrong, what teams got right, who was performing above or below expectations, what we liked about the parkour, and what we want to see from it next year. And yeah, I want Rohit Sharma at the race next year. Maybe Benji wants some TikTok people. So we'll flesh that out tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the recap. Pogacar wins his 6th stage, which is, crazy. 6 stages at the Tour de France after 6 at the Giro. Very, very impressive, and we'll recap all that and more tomorrow. Thanks very much to Join Cycling for all their unwavering support during the Tour de France and throughout the year, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Bye.